Do you think there will be no reckoning for you? It's your money sent over there. I got a fire warning that cut off my video, but I ain't stopped my thought. There will be a reckoning for everything that we allowed to happen. We know that this is happening. A lot of us do not care. They're harming children over there. They're doing wicked stuff to people and making them think that they can have something that ultimately is poison for them. Depraving them with certain things that they're going to crave, and then when they finally get it, it's poison. Telling them there's humanitarian aid in spaces, and when they get there, they get blown up. Cruel stuff that far exceeds the need to just kill. They want to terrorize and lie about and bring forth false testimony about. Smear the image of. Do you think there will be no reckoning for this action? As you support it with your silence and with your backing. A lot of us think we're good people, but were you standing up against this when you found out it was your money being used against this? If the answer is no, a reckoning's probably coming. This is not a game. This is not a drill. God told me you're going to strut through this place. And the part where my Bible has me landed on just so happened during this time was when he's talking about bringing an end to certain lands because of the evil that people do. That's the crazy thing about it. I read a Bible chapter every day. Been that way for about 9-10 years, maybe longer. And sometimes I find myself in spaces where the thing that I'm reading about lines up with the thing that's going on. And this is one of them times, man. The devil's working these fires, but so is the Lord. That's the scary part about all of this spiritual. The devil's working whatever's next, and so is the Lord. That's the scary part about what's going on here. With whatever is going to happen soon. You cannot, and I mean you absolutely cannot allow for what we allow in this country. Act like there's no consequence for allowing the people who control our country to engage in genocide. We cannot actually think that it's going to end well for us for doing that. Letting our government fund it, inviting the president of Israel to our country and clapping for him while strikes are taking place, killing children. You can't possibly think that God wasn't going to have something to say about that. Don't y'all think y'all was just going to rock? Now, when y'all go back and watch some of my therapy sessions, tell me we didn't basically tell y'all this was coming and whatever's next. Because I can't stress it enough. It's a lot more coming, man. We'll be lucky even to have a country when this thing is done. And the fact that you let the Zionists, who believe in hurting their own and others to achieve their goals, control everything and buy the lobbying groups of your states, lobby themselves into your government in various ways, to think that they were going to work in their own favor as it pertains to allowing those who support them to stand when they move in the energy of the enemy is beyond me. That you would actually think that. Of course they're going to turn their attention to you. Didn't I tell y'all so many times, and I'm going to say it now again, did I not mention that at the end of the day, they're willing to kill their own? That the people who are doing this in Gaza, who are trying to create greater Israel, control a great deal of your country and the corporations that you buy into. All the different stuff that y'all love, a good portion of it is owned by the same people who are doing this. I've been telling us this the whole time. And that bloodthirst does not end When you allow someone to get away with genocide, they want to kill more. They want to destroy more. They want to dictate terms in lands they don't own furthermore when you tell them they can get away with it. When you show them that you're fine with them doing this to someone else, they turn their attention to you. They turn their attention to you. It's like, cool. And you have something I don't fully control, only partially control? Got it. I'm turning to you, and I'm going to do to you what you allowed me to do to Gaza because I'm still hungry. Just like any other bloodthirst. I enjoy to hunt. I enjoy to kill. I don't care that you worked with me in making this happen. You're another body to murder. That's the reality of it. That's the truth. That's why it was so important that America not align with Israel on what it is that they do. Because Israel don't have no allies. They kill their own. So you know they ain't got no problem knocking you off, America. You know they ain't got no problem knocking you off. Government official that they paid $5,000. You think they, or $5 million, whatever they pay, you think they're gonna let you walk away with that money? Let me ask you something. Anybody ever play GTA? And it's dark, but it's a metaphor for what we're talking about. Anybody ever play Grand Theft Auto? Any of the Grand Theft Auto? The modern ones anyway, from 3 on. What happens in a lot of cases, maybe you don't do this weirdo stuff, but what happens in a lot of cases when you pick up a prostitute and she take your money? Don't you go back and kill the prostitute, take your money back? I know a lot of people do. It's awful, but like, there's no morals in that video game. It is a metaphor for what they do here. They're gonna give you lobbyists money so that you can do their bidding. But when they're done with you doing their bidding, they're gonna come back and take back the money that they've taken from you. That they gave you in order to do the work, rather. They can get it back. Because they don't have any respect for you. And there's no consequences for doing it to you. So why should they take a loss monetarily? Well, they could just give you the money, you do the work, they knock you off, they take back the money. It just makes all the sense in the world when you consider this a moralist entity that's willing to kill children. Why do you think they're going to be willing to take a monetary loss to people who they've paid to do their bidding? They're not. They're going to knock them off. They take the money back. Put them in jail for the weirdo stuff they do. Take the money back. Coerce them into circumstances where they need to buy something from them in order to save themselves. Take the money back that way. This is what, I mean, come on, man. I hate to give you such a dark analogy, but it is a parallel to what it is that we're seeing, and it's been conditioning our minds by way of these video games and these things that they've put in our faces. Propaganda to teach us how to deal with ultimately what their intentions are without rebelling against them in whatever way that we otherwise would if we weren't conditioned for it. Yeah. And they name themselves Israel so Christians would be loyal to them. But they hate Christianity. They look at us as idol worshippers. They loathe us deeply. Like, talking about you love Israel, support Israel. Do you even done any homework on these people? You ever heard the word Amalek? Like, if the answer is no, stop supporting Israel. Literally. If you don't know what that word is, stop supporting them. Because you don't know what the hell they're really up to. You don't know what their real intentions are behind what they do. And that they preach this to one another, but then lie to you. And don't even cover their backside because you know they know you're not going to hold them accountable. I mean, it's like, yo, man, after going down this rabbit hole and finding out all of what it is they control and their intentions and ultimately their patterns of thought and behavior, now it's like, well, you just wait for what's next. America's moving as if nothing's coming. It's like, bro, no, just because you're in the dark don't mean what's coming ain't gonna hit you in the light. We better get a hip on what's happening out here. I've been trying to teach everybody who follows me what it is I've come to understand. Even before this even happened, I started posing the question about who they are and what they're really about and why they control so much of our media. I used to call them the people behind the curtain, did I not? With intentions of exalting themselves. They must have apologies. You see, Kyrie Irving came out and said, yo, check out this book. Find out these people ain't who they say they are. And then they put him through the ringer in the league. Made him apologize 7 different times for doing it. Called him anti this, anti that. Like, that was the beginning stages of what it is we were paying attention to there. The Kanye West situation. Same thing. Now you got footage of Dwight Howard coming out telling everybody that he said randomly back when he played for the Rockets, which was literally like 10 years ago, free Palestine. And then they got like 1 million phone calls telling me to take down the tweet. And how seriously offensive what it is he said was. This was way before the genocide. These people control everything. And they don't mind hurting each other. And that's why I want all the Zionist people who follow me to understand. If you're not in the in crowd, you're going to be a victim. When it makes sense for them to turn their back on you and sacrifice you at the altar of their ego, they're going to do that. A lot of y'all think y'all know, but maybe you're not in on the in crowd like you need to be. Maybe if you started caring about the people of Gaza, you'd learn more about yourself. And what it is you've really been taught and how backwards it actually is. You should have never been supporting the killing of kids. That never makes any damn sense. Supporting those who do and their ideologies because they own everything. If they're as bankrupt as they are to annihilate children, what makes you think they don't have all that they have through ill-gotten gain? Inflicting so much pain, man. I'm telling y'all, God is not playing with y'all, and the devil is opening the back door on all of you. The ones on the end, the ones who are not, those who are complicit, those who just simply don't care enough until it happens to them, all of y'all in trouble. Because he told us, don't hurt my little ones. And y'all didn't stop anybody you could from doing so. You didn't stop them. You just said, those little ones are fine. Well, as long as who it is that's hurting them, it's fine. But let it happen to my kids or your kids and down the street, and then it's like, oh my God, where's the humanity? But they're over there, wipe them out. We ain't gonna say nothing. It's not in our best interest to do so. That, my friends, was a sin against God, whether you believe in him or not. And the devil was always gonna open the back door, man. I keep telling y'all. He ain't never got the people back who he have doing his work. Never. Ever got their back. I want people who follow me to understand something, man. Understand something. Excuse me. There's no limit to what a bloodthirst actually is. The more blood it gets, the more blood it craves. And that's it. Unless it finds some way through, however, to change its ways, it's going to continue to be hungry. Hungry. Starving even. It's inevitable. This is just how it works. It's how the demon works. That's how sin works in any walk of sin. The more sin you do, if you're not turning away from your ways and see the fruit and changing, you're just going to get more and more intentional on doing more of what it is. Till you become practically obsessed with it, or even more so than obsessed with it. You feel you need to feed off of it. Anything that is addictive has this ability. I learned that when I was off of weed. To tell my own mama that I couldn't live without weed. Only to get off of it and realize I didn't even want it that bad a lot of the time. But while I was on it, it was just something that was in my system that I needed to have it. And I thought I couldn't even have a good day without it. And I was convinced, deeply convinced. When it comes to moving in this way like Israel is, and like the Zionists are, that is no different. You crave more blood. You crave more destruction. You crave more power, more land. And you don't want to pay for it. You want to steal it. You want to take it from the prying hands of crying eyes. You understand me? It ain't enough to just control the land. You got to take it from somebody who's desperately praying and screaming that you don't. It becomes an addiction. And that is what Israel is on. That is what Zionists are on. And if it was nobody on earth but them, they would separate one another. They would discriminate against one another. It's the same thing I say about white supremacy. If it wasn't nothing but white people here, they'd start doing horrible things to each other and separate one another in different ways until there's no one left, because that's what that bloodthirst craves. Moving with the enemy never makes any sense, no matter what you're doing, no matter to what level. No matter to what level, man. Some of us like to dabble in bad energy. I've learned that hard lesson in my life. Doing things I knew I shouldn't do. I knew they weren't right, but because my heart was broken, because I saw no use, because my faith was on whatever level it was, I just said, I could do a little bad, have a little buzz, whatever energy I wanted, and then come back around and ask for forgiveness, and the God will forgive me. And whatever consequences came with that, whatever pain came with that, punishment came with that, I could go along with it. Not knowing that that punishment was going to be a little too much, that it was never quite worth it, that the bad always outweighed the good when going against God. That sometimes you go down them paths and you don't survive that. Sometimes you go down them paths and you end up carrying others down the path of destruction off of your hunger, only to find yourself changed and then having to live with the pain that you caused them destruction. You don't see that coming when you're going down those paths. It is literally all bad. And that they have religions and ideologies teaching people how to go down these paths deliberately. Not considered secular, like out in the street and people just running, feeling for themselves, but literally teaching their kids to hate. Teaching their kids to mistreat and mistrust people that they have no earthly understanding of their merit or their character. That they're going around teaching their kids this gives them no chance. Furthermore, Hannibal directive. In that regard, this is trauma placed upon their own people when they teach one another to hate people because of their relationship with God or what have you. Hate them because they over there. Hate them because they skin color. Hate them because they don't do enough hating in their own heart against people that you feel they should be hating or yourself. Like, this type of stuff is what they teaching one another. This type of stuff that they think is normal. But this type of stuff also garners a certain response from the immortal, from the universe, or whatever you want to call it. And that response brings forth great pain to them, for which they obviously support, because again, furthermore, reinforced, not on their own side, working with the devil against the Lord, who works against them just like the devil do. I mean, it never ends. You're always going uphill. You're always in a space where you're never fully fulfilled. It's meant to keep you vacant. The more you feed, the more vacant you feel. The more you do, the less fulfilled you become in that regard. It does not stop. And that is the metaphor for what is happening now. They are taking over greater Israel. And when they're done, they're going to turn their attention to other places, because that's how it works when you are inflicted by that type of nature. You become more hungry. You have to keep on doing it. And it ain't enough for someone to just simply hand over the land. You got to take it from them in ruin. It's the kink, so to speak. That's what they get off on. And the more they do it, the more they need it. This is why you do not teach human beings to be this way. Not for any reason. I tell y'all, man. And now we're in a space where we're looking around and we see things in our modern times going to ruin. Just like Gaza. And we sit up here and we compare it to Gaza. No, we're 1% compared to what the people going through. 1%. Not even. 0.5%. And this is coming from somebody whose family lost a lot. Whose sister lost everything. The house that my father raised his children in is burned down in this fire. 0.5%. Half. Because if you've been paying attention to what's going on in Gaza, you know you ain't faced nothing like what they're going through. Nothing at all. And that you disrespect what they've gone through and them when you compare the two as of this moment. You ain't been down that path yet, friend, and you hope to never go down it. And if you just do a lick of homework, you will understand that that comparison makes you look silly, Jamie Lee Curtis. And that you were supporting Israel, so therefore you fall under the Hannibal Directive. Like, I don't know what else to tell these people, man. A lot of y'all gonna find my channel, find these videos long after I'm out of here, long after I've passed away. Y'all gonna find these videos somewhere in the cloud somewhere, somehow. And when you do, you're gonna understand that all it is that's going on was no surprise to this person here, because I had already done the homework on those who were doing what to where and found that they were controlling things over here. And I looked around and I saw a million different other people who paid attention but did nothing. They were silent. They knew this and they were silent. They call themselves churchgoers and people who believe in God and follow the Bible. They read the words and still disobeyed when it came to this entity. They believed in God, but only to a point. They wanted to be good people, but only if it fit the narrative necessary and didn't prove to be too much of a risk for them. That's why this didn't work. It's exactly why this didn't work. So I'm telling all of us, man, we got to get to a point where we understand this from here on out. Understand this deeply. A lot of your answers are in that understanding that you care not about. Those things that they told you to stay away from because you're rude, those are the things that were hiding the context to help you understand why what is happening to you is happening to you. They made it rude for you to find the truth. That's the reality of it. It is very important. You start reading up on what's going on over there. It's very important. You start caring about what's going on over there because it's a roadmap to what is about to happen over here and in other places around the world as this hunger continues to grow within them. Video 44. Thank y'all for watching.